Speaking of business, that's about a business decision. And I think it's important that we mind our business. In this case, I'm not talking about mind your business. I'm talking about stop rolling your eyes, Tex. I see you didn't like my transition. Mind.
I was trying to hold it.
M-I-N-E. Your business. All right. So what is this segment about? All right. So there is a company, Noranda Jamaica Bauxite Partners. They want to mine 20,000 acres of bauxite in the cockpit country there in Jamaica. That's a very protected area. And so they want to obtain a lease to, I guess there's bauxite in the area. I mean, I don't know how much Jamaica overall is doing bauxite nowadays. I know when I was living there, bauxite was a big industry. I don't hear much about bauxite in Jamaica anymore. So I don't know I don't know exactly why that is. But this company said if they mine in this area, they can, for that, they will basically be able to export about 150 million US per year in bauxite in the area. 150 million US. And in that area, actually in Jamaica overall, we know for an economy that's driven so heavily dependent on tourism, something like that can have a significant impact on the country overall. So you may think, okay, what's the big deal? Obviously, yes, export the $150 million worth. Now in that area, so the complaints are coming from environmentalists and farmers in the area who said it would lead to a lot of deforestation, many other things that would dislocate a lot of the population. The water quality would suffer. Need a lot more flooding in the area. So a lot of environmental effects that's going to impact that region, for years to come. That's on one hand. On the other hand, 150 million US per year is what the company could make. And the Jamaica government owns like 51% of the rights to mining in that area. So it could be a boost for the Jamaica government overall. So on one hand, you have economic benefits that are pretty much short term. On the other hand, you have the impacts to people and to farmers and soil erosion and those other longer term impacts. So where do you come down on this? Who should I start with? Doc, what do you say about those concerns? You make up your face, so you don't want me to come to you.
Well, I mean, it's inevitable. Hello.
So what is of more importance? Is it the short-term economic benefits or the impact to the people on a longer-term basis? Your thoughts?
I mean, definitely the impact to the people. I mean, as we speak, I don't know if you
150 million a year.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We have to put certain
money
things
on money, right?
In the matter, but we have to put certain things in order, right? Because I don't know if you guys have been watching what's happening. Jamaica has a serious problem as it is. Flooding in places that we never ever imagined. Yep. Landslides. Mm-hmm. So, while this looks very attractive, there are a lot of things that they have to fix. You can't have your people living in a dilapidated situation because eventually they're going to get sick. So the problem is going to eventually be worse than Corona. So they have to rectify these situations before, you start, because even though it's $150 million, now, long term, it's going to cost them probably double or triple that amount. So you got to take care of your people. Okay. If you don't have healthy people, you don't have any of these things that we're going to long for. So definitely not. We have to take care of our people.
So you said take care of 150 million and Niamey with two fish and bunny.
No, after you deal with the living conditions, then you can transition on to these things. You can't deal with your society like that. You're gonna have bigger problems than just generating profit from bauxite.
All right. Especially, you're a farmer, man.
Well.
So, I have a specific question. All right. So, how can it be a win-win? Can it be a win-win where we get the economic benefits and the people are taken care of? Describe that win-win scenario.
They have done it before, where you can do it many ways. You can relocate people, put them in a better situation.
Relocate the people.
Yes.
Just pack up thousands of people and just move them where?
Move them to another location.
Send them to TG.
It can be done. It has been done for certain products before, like sugarcane. So it can be done where the company comes in, they build houses and put these people on there to stay.
That don't sound good.
The area. But you see, the thing about it is, after bauxite, they don't just leave the land like that, They have
Suppose I come and tell you right now, we find oil by your house, so you have to move. You have to move. Right now.
First of all, it's going to be my aisle. It's going to be my aisle. So I'm not keep moving.
It's a special food.
But seriously, the bauxite company will be making enough money where they can relocate the people, mine the bauxite, and then refill the land, and people can get back their land, because that is just part of how you mine bauxite, right? So we can have both. The issue is, how far down the hill will this money roll? If these companies, one, bring in their own workers, and two, do not use our local workers, because we've seen it. Chinese.
We don't know how that go already.
Yes. So it just depends on the contract. The contract can be written that it can benefit the Jamaican people plus. It can happen.
Yeah. Yeah. So there is the can happen, and there is the likely to happen, right? So
what happened is we have a kind of a political system in Jamaica where
where certain men wear orange shirts.
Right. The politicians need their hand washed big, and then everybody else get much. And the corruption is going to be the issue. If we can get over the corruption, right? It can be win-win. If Andrew can deal with the situation in a way where we can get over the corruption, I think everybody can win, because mining bauxite was great for Jamaica in the past, right? And it can be great for us again.
Yeah, make Jamaica great again, as they say.
Yeah.
So there's I can't see it from both sides. I overall come down on the standpoint of we have to do what's best for people. But so there's a thing called the resource curse, right? Which is applicable all over the world, where when you have these natural resources, whether it be oil or diamonds or gold or bauxite or what have you, that's in South America and Africa and the Caribbean, where you have this precious resource, and you don't necessarily have the capabilities to mine it on your own. So what they do, now they have to get, mega foreign companies to come in who don't really care about the people. They coming in with their dollars and they're bringing in their people, they bring to run the high-end jobs, they get a little man to, to do a little digging and the low wage jobs. But for the most part, most of the benefits from that are given to the foreign entity. And as Special mentioned, the politicians who are involved in that, have to grease the palm a little bit, and this man get some, a little money here, man get a little money there. And so it is sold. And as I was reading through some of the ways that they sold it, it's a critically important contribution to Jamaica's economy overall and more, for foreign exchange, GDP growth and employment, Jamaica's immediate social, economic, and sustainable development future is highly dependent on this. And so it's talking about all these things and the way that the community going to benefit. But as we've seen in so many cases in the past, what they've sold as the benefits don't end up reaching the people. So the people still have to deal with the problems. They have to deal with the flooding. They have to deal with, the soil erosion. They have to deal with all the impacts of it after being sold a bag of goods. So I just don't have much confidence that the benefits that they sell will actually reach the people. I believe money will be made. I just don't believe the people in that area will see much of those benefits at all. I know it can happen. It's not very likely to happen. So what is that, Tex?
Well, basically, your question to Speshi would be my answer to all of it. There has to be a happy medium where both can benefit. First of all, I'm happy to see that the Jamaican government made a deal in which they retain the majority of the company. I mean,
yeah,
you know our history in making deals like that. So that 51%.
We should get more.
Yeah, we should get more, but that's a stepping stone.
Yeah.
But what we have to do is basically, like Doc said, she has many concerns about the people. But the thing is, before you make a deal like that, you have to get people involved and put stipulations in place in order, for those things not to go wrong, in order for the company to put certain policies and procedures in place to protect the people and actually make the money. Like basically all of y'all were saying, we're in a pandemic right now, and as far as the money to be made, which is during touristy seasons and things like that, that's done and gone. So it's important for the country to make money, and if this is a way to make money and just find a happy medium with the people, you just have to do it at this point.
Yeah. So I think we're all in agreement that Jamaica does need more industry that is not so heavily dependent on tourism, right? We know tourism, probably impacts 70% of Jamaica's economy, right? But when something like this happens and people aren't traveling, then it impacts everybody. So we do need more of these things. So we have to. Basically, the MPs and whoever in that area need to really fight for what is good for the people, right? Don't just go by a company's word that it can make this amount of money.
Right.
Put it contractually and says, these things have to happen. Because it can have this impact in this way, these things have to happen. It's a win-win. So, that's this general subject, it's applicable around the world, various industries all across the African continent. And, it has really, this resource curse has created a lot of corrupt regimes throughout the world, because they have oil, because they have diamonds, because they have gold, a few strong men, get all the money and, people are screwed. And then, so,
oh, you mean the US?
which,
I ain't say that.
Yeah. So, we have to keep an eye on this one. This is it's a very important issue.